Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's podcast. And sorry for the delay on new episodes. Been meaning to get a new podcast up, but now as I've been working in the evenings, I will have to start managing my time better. But anyways, we are going to be sending off the this week's episode with something new and something I wanted to go over and discuss, which is Computex. And a reason I wanted to go over with Computex, for one, a lot of commentators have been talking about Computex as of over a week ago, too. In fact, there's been a lot of I would say, a lot of coverage from Computex. Now, however, a lot of people that has been discussing about Computex of this year and the way that's been going on, and from a lot of people, it's been a decent year for Computex. And it's not one of the best years because, for one, prices for RAM have been crazy this year. It's hasn't come down yet, and it just felt like a snooze fest. And there was reasons why I never got to go over more on it, because I'm gonna just let the commentators talk about it and let people go over on what's been happening. And that, I think I've had my own certain reasons about why, like a lot of people have said that Computex of this year of 2026 has just been boring, and what a lot of speculations have been saying because of it too. And I would believe so as well, because, and for one, right now with the way things are going, Nvidia has been falling off a little bit too, because a lot of people like myself and a lot of people that are interested in computer building, they're just not interested in the AI of everything. And I've discussed this about this in previous episodes, and I have to say though, having to integrate AI within the hardware and the motherboard, and having like the NPU, which, by the way, NPUs, if you love AI, then NPUs are going to be for you. But as for I'm not really that interested with, the whole neural processing, which that's going to be off my lane right there too. And I'm sure some of you are going to probably say, well, NPUs are like the future, you might as well just use it and take advantage of it. Sure, but it isn't something that, as a builder, I like to use my desktop. I like to use a keyboard and mouse. And to me, I don't like to lose my autonomy per se, because I love using machines. I love using a keyboard and typing things and getting creative throughout my whole space. And hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about when it comes to all that. And to me, that's something I definitely still enjoy. Now, I won't say it with Computex. I will go over certain things that I have to say that there has been some interesting things about it. But I'm not going to go over too much on today's episode because, for one, I've been busy with other things happening. And plus, I've been looking and searching for the tech jobs, even though jobs looking for careers have been very much of a challenge. And that's why I'm going to go over in today's podcast of why it is, especially with even today's job markets. And it's just been pretty challenging. And looking over, I'm sure a lot of you are saying, well, aren't you going to be focusing on content creation? Yes, I am, but you can't always rely on the revenue for content creation, especially with YouTube, Twitch. And I've actually had other people have said to me, during my birthday, throughout the end of the month, and say, well, why don't you stream on YouTube and stuff like that too? See, it wouldn't really matter at this point, like how much you get paid, because at the end of the day, there are going to be fees are going to be taken off from you, even if you're using Twitch or YouTube, and I have to realize is like, yeah, I mean, it's cool that you're streaming, but you can't rely on streaming all the time too. So that's why I've been studying on the side for, like coding stuff like CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, React, and other languages too, because I think These are things that are going to be very, very important down the road. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with today's episode on Computex 2026 and the hardware actually that I do enjoy over there too. So let's hit it and let's roll it in today's podcast. And by the way, for any of you guys that are listening to today's podcast, by the time you are hearing this, this will be released on Monday. So that's right, everyone. So Monday morning, I will be releasing this podcast when it goes live. So starting off with the first thing I wanted to talk about on today's episode, first and foremost, I think one of the real interesting things with Computex, and I can't say all of them too, because I know that every thing that you see in any piece of technologies come and go and improves. And like, for example, like currently at the moment, I have a laptop that is still working and still kicking ass, which is the Lenovo ThinkPad X270. And I like it. And I still like it to this day, that how wonderful it is running. Now, however, I wanted to mention this. Now, as someone that loves technology, and this is something I wanted to bring up in this discussion because while you have monitors, you have motherboards, and things are coming and going and all that jazz too. Now, I wanted to go over a piece of hardware that it has made its rounds onto Computex as out of this year. And while a lot of people have said that it's a snooze fest, and I'm sure it has been. Now, Framework Laptop 13 Pro, as I am reading this article on Digital Trends, and one of the things I will say is that it's been interesting because you have a company like Framework Laptop that's announced a few months back, and were eager to get their hands on the laptop and to see if actually delivers on its advertised promise. And by the way, for those of you guys that don't know about Framework, it's a company that sells a modular parts for their modular laptops. And it's awesome because, and I will tell you one thing, is that this is going to be a real competitor and to the laptop space. And that's one thing I will say, is that if you are working on the go, laptops are, it's still good to have a laptop in 2026, because here's why, folks. And if you are working, first of all, I can't see myself working on a small 5-inch screen or 6-inch screen, tablet or a phablet phone. I just can't see that though, because with a laptop, and what I like about laptops is that the screens are nice, they're portable, and they're very much accessible too. And that's one thing I will say. And now, and according to myself, now, if things are well financed and things are well according to my budget in the future, the Framework laptop would be my next laptop if anything were to happen to the Lenovo laptop. I'm just saying, because that would be a very, very good choice. And so going over the specs here, so going over on Digital Trends, which here it says the first thing that stood out to us is how sturdy the laptop felt. The brand had taken a page out of Apple's playbook and used an aluminum unibody chassis in the 13 Pro, which is pretty much correct too. And I still have the old MacBook Pro 13-inch laptops, which, that was cool. And that was actually a modular back when it was released in 2012 at that point. So continuing on with the article here, which here says the latch has also been improved. So removing or plugging the expansion cards can be done with one hand, which is a good quality of a life change. Framework has also moved to LPC AMM2 memory on the laptop 13 Pro, allowing it to use LPDDR5X while still keeping memory upgradable. This is significant because laptops that use LPDDR memory are typically not upgradable, which is interesting because as I'm learning here, I'm learning things as I go too. So going on the article, here, and part of it says it has a 13.5-inch display with a 2.8K resolution that finally offers touch support, though the laptop can only bend backwards up to 180 degrees, so it can't be flipped into a tablet. The other big upgrade is the 74WH battery, which is 22% larger than the previous generation, with the brand claiming more than 20 hours of Netflix 4K streaming. We could not verify that claim during our brief hands-on time. That said, the Framework Laptop 13 Pro is not cheap. The pre-built model starts at, hear me out, guys, $1,499 plus tax, with an Intel Core Ultra 5 325 processor. So there is an upfront premium, but that price is easier to accept because this is a laptop you can upgrade over time rather than replace entirely. So there's a lot of good to be said with this laptop, and to get a lot of good to be said about this piece of hardware that we are hearing right there, because this is fully modular, what it says. And I actually like things that are going to be fully modular right there. And I have to say, with a lot of the laptop brands that we've been seeing over the past decade, we've been seeing, especially from brands from HP, Lenovo, Dell, when there hasn't been no other laptop that has impressed me more than the Framework right now as of recently, because it is about time. And I've always envisioned that why can't we have swappable graphics card on a laptop? Wouldn't that be a miracle to have something that is actually swappable, something that we can replace parts easily? When I used to work at a local pawn shop, fixing things and reselling them to consumers, I remember one thing I had to struggle with is having to actually, believe it or not the keyboard. The keyboard was easy to replace on older HP laptops, but it's also the screen. The screen, I would say, it can be a bit of a nuisance to replace, and making sure that you're not breaking the wires or the parts, and going over the videos online and how things are set up with Framework Laptop 13 Pro, which is very nice to find that out too. Now, what I've understand, now if you go on the models, the different type of models on Framework laptops, the 16-inch, which is much bigger than the 13. Now, if you are someone that is looking, to have a bigger screen, then the 16-inch laptop will be suitable for you, for anyone that has big hands and that wants a bigger view on the screen, which that's always important too. However, I will say is that the models that are set higher than the 13, you're going to expect to pay a lot more. Now, I'm coming to understand with Framework, the reason the prices are so damn high right now is, for one, if you are someone that is, an early adopter, on this bandwagon, right now, Framework is not like a huge company at the very moment. Now, if you are someone that has the funding and that can spend the money and that wants to try it out, that's great. And the reason it is because right now everything is expensive at this current moment, and Framework do want to sell laptops at a lower price point for basically for the majority of consumers that want this, because Framework, they do want something that can be sold to the commercial space, right? And that's something that would be really, really good. And I love that too. But right now, it is for anyone that can be able to spend money on this laptop. And to me, as I'm looking at the Framework, I'm actually much more excited to have a framework and something that can last me a long, long time. And I love that actually. And don't get me wrong, the laptops aren't going to be there to replace my full tower PC. And I'm still happy what I have right now, which is a full tower PC, and it's been running great. Still have the MSI X 570, which is running smoothly. I endure that thing so much. And I won't say too much on this product right here. I wanted to go ahead and switch things up on this podcast on the Noctura Edition mouse. So going over on the article on digital trends, what it has listed here on the coolest things I saw at Computex 2026, Pulsar Fenman F01 Noctura Edition mouse. So just going over right there, the Pulsar Fenman F01 Noctura Edition is exactly the kind of thing that makes Computex fun. It is a gaming mouse with a tiny Noctura fan built into it. Which sounds ridiculous at first, but makes much more sense when you actually try it. Now, I have to say, going over at the photo right here, holy cow, it looks really cool to see that right there. And as I'm going over with the images, I'm not gonna lie though, it has like a very Skeletor look to it, and look, all of us use this mouse. We use this key. All of us consumers use this mouses all the time to work on things. Now, if you really need something to cool off, having a fan built inside of a mouse doesn't sound like a bad idea at all, believe it or not, because that is something that we can actually use. And this is something I actually will use in the future for my own productions, and whenever I'm recording or gaming or whatever. I think it is actually a really cool idea. I mean, looking at this small mouse, I don't know how small it is from Noctura, but going over here, the mouse was shown earlier, but after delays, it now appears much closer to launch. It is based on Pulsar's Fenman's F01, but weighs slightly more due to the added Noctura FN A4X10 5V PWM fan, which pretty much that's correct too. Because if you're going to add a fan inside of a mouse, it's going to weigh a little bit more, which I expect that to it anyways. It has a 42,000 dpi sensor and 8K polling. The fan can spin at up to 5,000 RPM, but because it is small, its noise is hardly noticeable. It blows a gentle breeze towards your palm to help keep your hand from getting sweaty during long gaming sessions, which that is pretty much right. And if it was me, that way I can use a fan, a small fan in the mouse, which I actually like the idea, like the concept as well. And so continue on with this piece right here. When it was first revealed last year, we thought the gimmick was pretty cute. After trying it in person, though, the idea started to make a lot more sense. To anyone who has spent hours gaming with sweaty hands, will immediately understand the problem Noctura is trying to solve. It is definitely a little unusual, but we can see the practical appeal. That said, we only had a short time with the mouse on the show floor, so we did not get the chance to properly test how effectively it is over a long gaming session or in a warm room where sweaty hands would apparently put the concept to the test. And you know what? I actually agree with the idea right there, because look, I've had problems where my hands will slip out of the mouse while in gaming sessions like this too. So in a way, I do think this is going to solve a lot more problems than it actually what it actually turns out to. So no negatives right there. And believe it or not, what this company here, it was a Noctura. Noctura, I actually do like Noctura a lot too. Noctura, not believe it or not, I actually know someone that has a Noctura fan in his own case, which actually he purchased, a couple years back, and it sounds so quiet. And the Noctura fan, I would purchase this and down the road and even in the future too. Believe it or not, which I will expect, some point Noctura will be my top to go fans over Cooler Master, but Cooler Master isn't that bad too. I will still get a Cooler Master for my CPU down the road too. I'm just saying to anyone. And I do feel this for everybody right there. And I wanted to move over about my take with everything that's been happening, and even in the tech space right now. It's been a very tough year into to technology, and I'm not gonna lie though, it's been a strange year. And now with everything happening, and the show floor, it hasn't been too impressive, and even I see that as well. And even though Nvidia had shown about the Nvidia Spark, and I haven't gone over much on Spark, and while I'm not going to talk too much about it because I really don't feel that there really is no need for to cover the RTX Spark, which I'm sure a lot of tech people in the tech outlet has talked about this as much. Now, if you guys wanted to find out more about the RTX Spark, you guys can do that for your own. And which I will say a little bit about it. And RTX Spark, not so interesting, right? And to me, this is one thing I'm just going to put out right here is if I want to see graphics cards, I don't want things to be integrated by the motherboard, but having to be external. I like things that you can just replace along the way. And the problem, what I find with, things to be, placed internally is, for one, you're going to have to most likely replace your hardware within the next few years. And with modulars, my thing was, with modulars, you can just do whatever you want with a modular unit. And that way you don't have to have everything integrated all at once. And just like with any hardware, and this is my thing with companies that are doing this on purpose, is that, for one, everything that you integrate your hardware, it's going to be likely enough that you're going to have to end up replacing that hardware within the next few years, instead of having the long term. And what's that word everybody's been using in the tech space? Oh, that's right, long term adolescence, where, for one, nothing stays a long term, and they want you to buy as often as possible. And that's the problem, is that they want things to be made for a short term, for the short amount of time, and everything with electronics these days are so expensive. And I remember there was a point in time where, back in the day, like, they considered the phones, like the brand new smartphones, that when it first came out in the market, of course, I remember smartphones was like $200. And I remember back then, like, you've had people that said, man, $200, that's a lot, much more than the flip phones, which in their credit, yeah, it is a lot more expensive. But you have to understand that when Motorola Razr came out back in the day, that was a pretty expensive hardware for its time too. And you can't really say that today, because now the Razr from Motorola, I don't think is that expensive. But if you look at other pieces of hardware, like, for instance, the Google Pixel phones, probably about more than $800, brand new, or even in a 1,000 MSRP. You can't really say the old phones and compare to today, because today's market is a lot different from back then. And so that's why right now people aren't really buying what it used to be, because, for one, you have to look at many of the factors. Is it's right now the prices are different. The technology is different back then, and also today's technology isn't as innovative compared to back in the 2000s, where you've seen a lot of growth in the tech space and a lot of innovations that got people to purchase it and say, all right, let's get on to the next generation of things, because this is going to be the future, compared to what you've seen, like the graphics from the 90s, and I will say, and I will admit that the graphics from the 90s is so dated and compared to today, where we've come a long way. And that's why I'm just saying, with even in today, and while things have improved a lot since then too, like compared, like the phones and also you got people are trying to sell AI. They even take AI technologies and AI software going about too. But is this what most consumers really want? Look, if you are an AI developer, probably that's going to be a market for you, and that's probably it'll be aimed for someone like you that's listening to today's podcast on this, and someone like myself. Now, if you are just writing small scripts or whatever, first of all, the majority of people are just probably going to go for something for a budget right now, and not everybody's going to go and spend a whopping between $500 to $1,000 laptop right now. That is not on everyone's budget. Now, if you're looking for a good least amount budget right now, you could probably find a ThinkPad that was made, I don't know, 10 years ago, and that 10-year-old or 8 to 10-year-old laptop will still run you well today in today's world. And I know, like, now there's a lot more companies even in today that they're ending up having to restock or having to reissue now DDR4 RAM sticks, because right now people don't have the money or have the purchasing power to go and spend on DDR5. Even though people will go out and say, well, this is the new thing right there, you got to get onto DDR5. But right now, I'm still pretty happy with the DDR4 RAMs. Now, if you look at the price point compared with DDR4 and then DDR5, first of all, I would still run DDR4 because there's not really much of a huge difference. Sure, I would just go ahead and wait it out till the prices drop, until this AI bubble bursts really much. And so far, we're seeing that telltale signs where you're seeing Microsoft, the bubble is being popped, especially with the gaming bubble right now. And I'm not going to go much further detail with Xbox because, here we go. I'm going to just bring this up right now because we thought that Microsoft or excuse me, Xbox was getting its crap done, but now as the reset, a lot of people are seeing this reset a lot more differently than a positive one. And so because of right now, the gaming market is about to bubble and burst right now. And right now, not a lot of people are buying new consoles. And I'm one of those people are not really buying consoles. And don't get me wrong, if you love your Switch, cool. If you love your PS5, great. For sure. Go ahead and get a console. But I really cannot see myself getting a console, even in today's economy. I'm sure a lot of people said if you've not gotten a console, it's a good time to start getting it before prices go a lot more higher. But for me, I'm sticking with PC only because of the price. Right now, the market has been going so crazy. And to me, I haven't been crazy about consoles recently because of the price points too. And plus, there hasn't been a lot of games that really that hasn't been really interesting. Let's put it this way too. And I know a lot of people online have been talking about Grand Theft Auto 6. And I know there's been like game stores that have been putting GTA 6 on for pre-order. Now, am I that crazy for GTA 6? No, not like everyone else is. But that's one thing I'm not getting to do is jumping into the hype. I really I really am not going to go crazy because right now that's not a trend that I'm interested in, right? And I understand that there's people out there are living that hype. Right now, I'm stepping this aside from the hype because to me, this is more of a what do you call it? A short-term trend. I mean, this is a game that's going to come and go just like Grand Theft Auto 5 did. People will like it and continue playing it for the next several years, and then people are going to start dropping that game like a hot potato too. And just like any trend, that trend will come down to a short-term trend, and to me, I'm just not into Grand Theft Auto or crazy about the genre specifically because that's not what I am. And however, if you're one of those guys that are, cool on you right now. Right now, I'm focusing on the hardware and the software aspects of it too, and that's where I'm at too. Because I'm not gonna go crazy on brand new things at the moment because I know already by the time Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, that's gonna be another $70 or $80 game coming out by November of this year. But I hardly doubt it right now because who knows if they end up having another delay, just like we've been seeing in the past couple years for GTA 6. Man, who knows? Right now, this is not a buying time right now too. And I will say that if you are new into the PC consumer market, I have some bad news right now too. RAM, storage are so expensive right now too. I would say if you are gonna get something, probably a few things I would say pointing this out is you're probably gonna have a good buying experience when you're getting a motherboard or a SSD, which is fine, but the NVMe stuff, it's already expensive right now. I'm just gonna say that to anyone listening. But anyways, with that said, what do you guys think of today's podcast? I really hope you've enjoyed today's talk because it's been a while since I've published recently, and I wanted just to put that aside because of I just haven't been publishing anything up on YouTube except for like gaming content on my main channel. So that's kind of the reason why I just been out there too, because I've been focusing on my studies and everything like that too. So that's probably why you haven't been seeing a lot of posts as of recently too. So anyways, if you are probably wondering when's the next podcast going to be out, when is it going to be out? Well, I will say that after this published podcast by Monday, I will have another one posted too. I just need to get more rest and get things going. So anyways, guys, today is Sunday while I'm recording this. Today is Father's Day, and hopefully you're having a good time with Father's Day today. You guys enjoy your weekend, or I hope you already enjoyed your Father's Day wherever you are, because I know this is Father's Day in the United States here in June 21st. So anyways, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and put this last recording before I head out. Just this week, I was on the radio. That's right, guys. I was on the radio. Actually, the last Thursday, actually. So for those of you guys that don't know, I was on a local radio station called 99X Atlanta. So if you want to listen in on it, I'll have the recording of my segment right after this recording. So anyways, guys, enjoy this listen. Take care, and I'll speak to you more soon. And without further ado, here is the recording from Thursday. And as always, guys, thank you for coming in and taking a listen to the Leon LeGray podcast. Here is the 99X recording of me on my radio appearance. So anyways, guys, take care of yourselves. Enjoy. And this is going to be it for the podcast. So that's how I'm going to end this from here. Enjoy the listen.
All right. Randomizer has been hit. And there is one. All right, let's give this a shot. $1,000. We already said if you don't win, this is stupid if you don't win. Hello? Hello, Luke?
Yeah, this is Luke.
This is your father.
How many times he's
I
heard
mean, I had
that?
to.
Wow.
You're on the air at 99X. I'm Barnes, of course. That's Crash. LT is here. How are you, Luke?
Oh, well, this morning. Thank you.
Well, how much do you listen to the show, and how much do you pick up on kind of the undertones of what is said?
Yeah, I've listened to it pretty often, actually. I've been listening for a couple of months now. It's been one of my favorite morning stations so far. So last 6 months, yeah.
So far, you're saying all the right things.
Yeah. We certainly we appreciate you. Where are you calling from? Where are we? I'm sorry. Where are you living these days?
Crash forgets. We called him, Crash.
I forget.
McDonough, Georgia. Yeah, that's where I live now.
That's the home of LT.
Yeah.
That's where I live. That's a great
my
city.
God. Yeah, it's not too bad. No. Yeah.
You might have seen LT at the gas pump.
Yeah, more likely the Publix.
What do you do in McDonough, Luke?
So right now I work evenings at a Italian restaurant right now, not too far from me at the moment.
Oh, nice. How old? You sound like a young man. How old are you?
I had people say that I sound like in my early 20s, but I'm actually 35.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow, okay.
We'll plug the restaurant. What restaurant?
It's called Italian Oven.
Oh, okay, good. That's a good one.
Are you named after biblical Luke or French Open champion Luke Jensen?
Biblical Luke.
Oh, biblical Luke. Because, 35, that's about how long ago he won the French Open, so I thought maybe your parents were Morning X listeners. They heard Luke, and they're like, oh, that's a good name.
It is a good name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, my mom named me after the Bible. If it was something she liked, it was like cool. I'm gonna name my son after the word Luke. So that's how it originally came. So yeah.
Well, in my eyes, you were named after Galactic Republic Galaxy Saver Luke Skywalker. So there you go.
All right, Luke.
Cool.
All small talk aside, did you in the last week feel like you were presented a message from us into your ears about how to win $1,000?
Yes. So I had something coming, and I figured, this is going to be an awesome time to get that going.
Okay.
So Yeah.
Well, many people before you, Luke, have said that they received the message, but it was some kind of weird filter because it didn't go through properly. But we're going to give it a shot. We have 10 questions, and it's true or false. And as we go through them, you have 60 seconds. So, stay conscious of the speed and that you're answering, the questions and how fast you're answering, because if you run out of time, you can't win the $1,000, obviously. So the timer will start when I get past the first question. Are you ready to hopefully win $1,000, Luke out in McDonough?
I am ready. Yes.
Well, we're going to know very quickly how ready you are. Here we go. Okay. All week, we have front row tickets this week for Mumford & Sons.
False.
Our podcast is number 1 in the USA.
Ooh. True.
Billy Corgan's favorite pumpkin song is Landslide.
I'm going to say false.
The Nepo baby we played was Jules' daughter.
Okay. That would be false.
We had a best of true crime segment on Billy Bob Thornton.
False.
We talked about dog-free zones in restaurants.
False.
We spoke with someone from the Wall Street Journal about the Coke-Pepsi battle.
Oh, man. Ooh, true.
We had a music meeting about Los Lobos, their new collab with Robert Smith.
Man, that would be false.
Dave Grohl was on Best Of this week, and he played an acoustic song in our studio.
False.
If you answered true to any of the questions, you just won $1,000 from Get in the Ring.
Oh, it's False.
Oh.
Well, the bad news is you're not going to get $1,000, but the good news, my friend, is we're going to leave you a nice $100 tip on the table.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's right. You got 8 out of 10. Dude,
Oh, so close.
I thought you got the message.
Oh my gosh.
Telepathically through the airwaves, we put it out.
Yeah, but he was
Yeah.
being so nice, saying that we were number one in the U.S.
Yeah,
I mean,
how
that
do you
was
miss?
just nice.
They were all false, Luke. But when you say true, you say it to our podcast is number 1 in the USA?
You ever heard of a guy named Joe Rogan?
Oh.
I misheard that part. Oh my God. Yeah. That,
Oh.
how could I get it wrong?
Luke.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
All right.
Wow. 8 is solid, though. That's so good.
It's better than anyone has done in a long time. So you've got $100 from gettingthering.com. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. We're going to get you set up. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Stand by. Appreciate you finding and listening to the Morning X.
Love you guys.